Good evening, team. Welcome to the session. Today, we are specifically going to see one more popular certification, that is Lean Six Sigma, and this is being used as a popular certification for the last 30 years. I have to say, when I started my profession, that time it was very popular. Okay, people used to say black belt or yellow belt or so many belts, and they needed to achieve that. But at that time it was purely a lean or purely a Six Sigma. But now, due to various reason, it has been combined. It's not a good match, but let us see, because even today I see a lot of people, not only those who are working, but those who are looking for a job or those who are a student, still doing this program by paying a huge amount of money. But let us understand whether is it really essential, especially if you are in supply chain and logistic domain. Allow me to attach a screen. So this session is dedicated to Lean and Six Sigma for supply chain and logistic. Maybe you can also include all the allied areas. Let us see how it's going to impact or not at all going to impact your resume. Lean has been very some 30 years back, 40 years back, a concept introduced by Japanese organization, especially for manufacturing and not for service industry. And it was very popular those time. And even today, if we take some of the automobile tier one organization in the eastern side, maybe I am not talking about Europe or US, but possibly India, Japan, and surrounding country, they continue to use the lean operations or concept, but not in the West and GCC. Let us understand what is a lean. Lean is a way of thinking about creating needed value with fewer resources and less waste, and a practice of continuous experimentation to achieve perfect value of zero waste. Of course, I have taken this definition from ChatGPT, so it has added some definition concepts as per the latest understanding. Generally, as you lean, now I am talking about lean, not Six Sigma. We are going to come to Six Sigma, which was used in automobile west various tiers. We call as a tier. The channels of supply is called tier in automobile, where one of the popular concept is JIT, just in time. Of course, we were perfectly using planning, delivering it at the required time so that our inventory is optimum. In fact, it requires a strict discipline, and also manufacturing strategy should align as per the demand driven, and also your customer should cooperate, and it is a major revolution. Okay, since it required major discipline, most of the organization or the countries itself, they have abandoned it. Okay, if you take US, there is no JIT and lean anywhere practiced, even in the automobile line, because you have to almost all the time stand on toes, keep watching without any inventory backup. So they started slowly abandoning the process. And also, you may see in India and other countries, especially GCC, they also have left JIT or lean in the original concept. Of course, this has a lot of good concept like Pokoyoke, which means failure proof. Kaizen, a small improvement. Kanban, especially in supply chain, it can be adopted, but earlier it was in the mostly in the manufacturing process and pulling the item from the vendor or the previous process, not necessarily from your customer to the manufacturing. Milk run is one of the important concept. Value stream mapping, as all these are focused towards manufacturing. Okay, very little was applied to supply chain. Joe, we are talking about just in time or milk run. It was more focused towards supply and not towards the customer or physical distribution. Okay, it stopped there, but many organization has benefited by using this, especially in manufacturing. Once again, some more things which were adopted into the latest concept as per ChatGPT. It says looks for ways to eliminate, increase visibility, use technology to your advantage. This was not a concept some 2 or 3 decades. Never used technology to our advantage. That everything should be visible, and if possible, you avoid technology was the original lean term. Focus on total cost of fulfillment. Of course, this is also one more concept added recently. Outsource activity when it makes senses. Okay, so ChatGPT all tries to transform as per the current situation, and putting other concepts into lean which were not originally a part of lean. Now let us come to, and one more point is make customer usage visible to all supply chain. Yes, that was possible from manufacturing to the supply side, not on the delivery side. Okay, even Toyota does not make the production as per the customer order. It was done as per the forecast even in those time. So everything was pulled, and there was a very limited visibility when if you consider the channels of distribution, especially towards customer. Now coming to Six Sigma, mainly focused on reducing variation, thereby improve the quality. Okay, Six Sigma is basically a quality tool, whereas Lean is not a quality tool. Okay, that's a different tool. Six Sigma is a different tool. You can see these are set of techniques and tools for process improvement. The Six Sigma strategies seek to improve manufacturing quality by identifying and removing the causes of defects and manufacturing variability in manufacturing. As you see the definition, this was also focused to manufacturing, but later on adapted to service industry, not to the full extent. Okay, this concept was introduced by Motorola in the initial stage. Of course, like Lean has seen its slow death. Even Six Sigma is dead. Okay, Six Sigma is not available because we have a better techniques, tools, and technique to manage not only supply chain but also in the manufacturing environment. It is different. Why it is having a natural death? If you take the definition of Six Sigma, they are trying to focus 3.4 defects per million opportunity. You can imagine the situation. Many of the organization, they will be in 1000 ppm. Even a global organization reaching 100 ppm is very difficult in today's environment. Quality, the cost is, you have to take care. A customer willing to pay for higher quality, you have to keep in mind. And that's a different niche segment where there are customers, they want higher quality, willing to pay. That constitute maybe 5 or 10% of your customer. If you take middle range or lower range, they want quality but also at a lower cost. So you need to consider the cost of measuring. Assume each and every transaction or opportunity, if you need to check at each of the level, maybe you, for a large organization, each day there will be a million opportunity. Is it really possible to measure 1000 opportunity? I am not really sure. When even Motorola introduced this concept, they cannot measure it. Yeah, of course, the cost of measurement should also fetch you the business. If you say ROI is there, it's fine. But you think that is main reason, because when you have to measure this level of quality, then you need to spend money, which sometimes customer doesn't want, willing to pay. As per Lean, the quality inspection itself is a waste. Why you need to measure the quality? Okay, so as per Lean, Six Sigma is a waste. Unfortunately, most of the organization, especially training organization, they are trying to combine two different things which sees on a both opposite direction and try to provide a program called the lean supply chain, which is meaningless. Okay, you need to account for cost of measuring. I'm sure I can even challenge, no organization can measure all the opportunities available and also prove that they are doing within 3.4 defects per of a million opportunity. Why it is required? Customer are not willing to pay. Okay, so unfortunately, you see, not only the training organization, maybe the people or organization who are not very clear about Six Sigma, they try to push candidate to do this program, which has very limited practical applicability as on date. Okay, it's my personal opinion based on my experience. Calling a lean Six Sigma is not meaningful. You are putting something together where one says all the measurement is a waste, customer is not willing to pay for the quality measurement. Okay, so it's a non-added activity. So how come you can combine a non-value added activity with something which is trying to remove the waste? Okay, it's mainly for the training organization, or maybe for the candidates who feel it is easy to learn and put it in the resume. It's fine, but practically you have much better tool. And I personally feel it is purely for commercial purpose. When somebody says it is a lean Six Sigma, it's misleading you. On the other hand, I am okay if you are taking a program separately, lean and JIT, okay, just in time. That was the original concept where you can learn lot of practical application. As far as Six Sigma is concerned, I am still not convinced whether that is required, because that's a waste. Because now we are trying to say that the quality has to be inbuilt in the process. Why you are measuring that quality? The process should result in a quality oriented products. Okay, in automobile first level, if you take, we used to avoid inspection at the incoming and counting also incoming, because these are coming from a certified vendors and they are fed to the line, directly fed to the line. So no inspection in the real lean organization, especially incoming components. And we used to do something called back flushing. Okay, all the products components are consumed at the final stage when the final product is made. How important is Lean Six Sigma in today's environment? We have much better tools. Okay, Lean has a lot of problem, as I told you. You need to be very strict discipline in supply chain planning with no backup inventory, and you should be alert 24/7, and which most of the organization doesn't want to do. Okay, so it has seen a slow death for one reason, that you cannot be active for all the time. Second, is pandemic also induced some pressure. People have realized that you need to have some safety stock, otherwise it's going to disturb the supply chain to a very large extent. That is the reason why the lean is also slowly disappearing, but different format is coming. Okay, lean different format is coming now. In India we are talking about 15 minutes delivery. Okay, when you go to the supermarket, by the time you go around, pick the item, bill it and bring it to home, it may take 1 hour. Okay, even within the supermarket it will take 1 hour, but now there is someone who says we can deliver to your home within 15 minutes and also at a discount. Okay, so the inventory management or supply chain management is dramatically changing. Now we are not bothered about more of an inventory. That's where we are going for a micro warehousing, because finally the expected delivery time is expected to be short. Okay, so the lean is changing to a different format. And of course, the old lean format doesn't provide any transition or guidelines into today's environment. Coming to Six Sigma, even in supply chain, we used to talk about perfect order fulfillment, meaning that you should deliver right product to the right time to the right customer with the right quality, right pricing. Like that, 7 hours were there. But that were we were used to skip one by one, and finally we have only one or two. Like for example, if you take OTD, on time delivery, so on time is one of the or maybe OTIF is there, on time in full means so 2 hours are there. So we felt as an organization it is not necessary to measure all other 5 hours, not required. At what cost you want to measure? Okay, if you say Six Sigma company and deliver wrong product to the company customer, doesn't look like that you have a quality oriented organization. So what is required from the quality organization is built all the quality requirement into the process, into the product, so that no inspection is required or don't check it. Okay, so you see in the today's concept, both of this are irrelevant, in the sense they have taken a different form. And of course, I have seen there are many training organizations providing certification. Even today, black belt, I felt it's useless. If you want any of you watching this, you can tag it to me who are a black belt. I am willing to debate what is the ROI you are getting by spending such money in inspection. Not required. Customer is not willing to pay. If anyone of you understood the meaning of lean, then you will not do Six Sigma. Okay. So on the other hand, if you want to create some additional weightage to your resume, fine, go ahead and learn this program. But don't spend even a penny for this program. It's available free online, zero spend. As of now, my feeling, other feeling is they are talking traditionally. Even the trainer on Lean Six Sigma, what was that 20 years? They were talking same pattern, trying to force fit into the service application, which is not at all possible. If you say in the same lean and JIT or Six Sigma concept, you cannot directly fit into supply chain or logistic. You need extensive research, study the application, and only you can recommend. But unfortunately, I see most of the organization try to learn vaguely, whether they don't see whether it is they're trying to fit into their organization or application. Okay, it's a pure waste of time. That's my guidance. Is it so critical in CV? Possible. Okay, if you want to flow in the flow along with the job market, if somebody wants Six Sigma, put it in their resume, but don't spend money or time on that. If somebody wants it, you say, I know Lean Six Sigma. If you ask me as an employer in my previous organization, this was not a necessary skill. In fact, we used to debate to the candidate how you can build the quality into the product and process, so that there is no quality inspection or requirement. In fact, most of the lean organization, the quality function is shrunken. Everybody's responsibility is quality. Why you need to have a separate quality function with the same format? It is irrelevant to management or logistic or procurement unless it is modified, tested, and shooted. It is fine. Otherwise, the current Lean Six Sigma are not relevant to supply chain. If it is not relevant to supply chain, possibly it is also not relevant to production or any other function within the organization. If anyone wants to debate with me on this subject, I am ready. You can reach out to me. Now we have to adapt to the changing situation. When somebody wants delivery within 15 minutes, you cannot do quality inspection manually or have a lean warehousing or lean inventory management. No, it is not possible. In future, the priority has changed. Now from the manufacturing, the power has shifted to retailer. They are dictating. Yeah, they are saying you make to stock and keep the item. We are going to take as and when required. So the cost of operation has taken a back seat now. Quality is inbuilt, but lead time is taking priority. So any of training you attend, you have to first focus how I can reduce the lead time. That's the top one. I'm not sure if we are going to use Six Sigma or Lean. Is there any possibility of reducing lead time? I think no. This is my profile. If you are not connected, you are welcome to connect with me. Though I was trained in lean techniques because I am basically from auto background, I never trained in Six Sigma because lean says you don't measure quality. It's a non-value added activity. On the at the same time, build quality into the product. We provide training and consulting mainly in the areas of supply chain, logistic, procurement. One of our popular program is supply chain analytics by using data science, machine learning, or artificial intelligence. We also provide the training guidance for this global certification in supply chain and logistic from ASM or APIX. One of our short-term program we are planning to do this Friday evening live online on inventory management using Excel template. If anyone is willing to join, you are welcome to join. For any doubts or clarification, you can reach out this number. So this is a short program. Don't jump into the flow and take a wrong path. Okay, don't waste your time. See what is currently required to perform better. Okay, maybe some organization is practicing Six Sigma or Lean. They are decades old, not today's environment. You can practice both in the same format. You need a different format to answer this. If you have any questions, you can just put it in a comment either in LinkedIn or YouTube for response. Thanks for watching. Have a